Here we go.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I am Katie Sanford, and I am here with Tiffany Hendra, women's empowerment coach and TV personality, and one of the just most realist, positive people that I know. And she has agreed to come on today and share a little bit about her journey and the things that she's doing and has overcome. And so she is here with us today. Hello, Tiffany.
Hello, gorgeous. It is so good to see you. I
You
mean,
too.
I think everyone's reconnecting and so excited to see one another after such a crazy year. But thank you for having me. You know, this is my jam. I
I
want
know it.
all women to feel lit up with their lives, to radiate joy, feel confident. And so thank you for the opportunity to share.
Well, thank you. So, Tiffany, tell us just a little bit about yourself, your journey, and kind of what got you to where you're at today, motivating and empowering women and living your truth and just sharing your life. Tell us how you got there.
Well, we don't have enough time because I know we have a small amount of time, but in a nutshell, I believe what you touched on saying living your truth. I I have been through. I interviewed a girlfriend of mine, and she said that I was seasoned, and I was like, "Girl, did you mean I've been around the block a few times?" And I have. I have been around the block. I'm like a cat with 12 lives, but I believe that God has us go through different seasons of life, different experiences. I've been on an entrepreneurial journey since I was a little girl. I always had that entrepreneurial spirit, that leader spirit. But like most people, when you go through trauma, you have abuse, you have things that uh, stunt your growth, or kind of even just a little bit take you off the path that you're on, and you end up somewhere else. I
Mhm.
always say even the detours are a blessing, because
Yes.
what you learn and what you gain. So I've had a lot of detours, I've had a lot of potholes, I've had a lot of, like, the car broke down and needed a jump start kind of situation. But just being a little girl that had big dreams. I come from a small town. I was an artist. I was multiracial. Uh, I did not have the entrepreneurial spirit modeled for me.
Mhm.
So going for your dreams as a small town girl is daunting, but it also is one of those things that you have to free. It's up to you to free yourself and get out of the small town, get out of the cage. Sometimes that cage is the prison of our mind. So I've been
Mhm.
through all of the things. I believe we are meant to thrive. I have a new series called So Thrive with Tiffany Hendra. We're not meant to live in survival mode. And that's basically what I did for many years, decades actually. I was
Mhm.
in survival mode, not really living my truth. So as I've been on this path to finding my greater life's work, living my truth, using all of the detours and all of the things that I mentioned to help women maybe shortcut it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Shortcut
Mhm.
it. Time is ticking away, and I want women to not go through such a long journey as I did. So if I can give them some tips and tools, say, hey, sister, try this. I wish somebody would have told me this when I was 18, or when I was
Yes.
25, when I was
Mhm.
30. So
Mhm.
that's what I hear. That's what I believe I am here to do, is to be a voice, to be a guide, to be a teacher, and to pass it on.
And you do it so well. You do it so well. You're so real and authentic in your journey and your struggles and what you've learned at 18, what you even know now. So I think that that's amazing that you share that with us. So, when talking about the potholes and all of that, I think 2020 for a lot of people kind of has been a big pothole, and just the feeling of, your emotions being all over the place, being held captive, can't really do what you want to do. What are some things that you kind of went through this last year? I know we kicked off 2021 with a pretty big pothole for you that has been something that you've been able to inspire others with. But, this past year, what have you done to kind of stay in a positive emotional and mental state and takeaways that you have from that?
It really was a remarkable year. I know that it was devastating. Suicide rates are up, the anxiety,
Mhm.
just the long list of things, all of the financial burden, jobs have been lost.
Mhm.
I firmly believe that the lead up to that in my practice of leaning into God,
Mhm.
my spiritual practice and being spiritually fit and being resilient because of all the crap that I've been through. So
Mhm.
it was like leading up to this, I firmly believe that for such a time as this, I use the Queen Esther story a lot in my coaching practice because I truly believe that all of us, Queen Esther was an orphan. She was a so-called nobody. And
Mhm.
her uncle said, "Hey, why don't you almost go through this beauty pageant because the king needs a new queen?" So she went through a year-long beauty treatments to capture the attention of the king to save her people. That was her great destiny. And Esther 4:14 says, "For such a time as this." I believe all women, we all have a "for such a time as this" moment. So I
Mhm.
believe that I was being prepared, just all the different seasons that I went through to be really spiritually fit so that
Mhm.
I could actually be a coach, a literal coach for the women that might not have been spiritually fit enough and didn't have the resiliency. So I did free calls on Mondays. And actually, I did it for them, but we all know when you give, you actually
Yeah.
are getting in return. So it
Mhm.
was such a blessing for me to offer free calls for women. And in turn, it kept my spirits up.
Yes.
So for me, it was a remarkable year of growth, of challenge, just like all of the things. Luckily, I'm an introvert. My husband and I had to tell him to stop rehearsing before we started this. We work from home already.
Mhm.
So, very blessed in that regard. But the beauty, the blessings that have been birthed from
Mhm.
2020 and people realizing they that you know not that I want anyone to get divorced, but people are realizing what they really want in life. And that is one of the
Mhm.
first questions I ask women when they come to me and they get to the point where they need to invest time, resources, finances to hire a life coach, is they don't even know what they want anymore. And I know that sounds like a basic question, but have your viewers ask themselves with a journal in their quiet time, "Hey, what do you really want?" I have it up on a whiteboard every single day to remind myself, what is it that you really want, and align that with what God has for you to do. And you're going to stay pretty much, that baseline level of happiness and joy that we have. You're going to stay there most of the time because you're going to feel fulfilled. So
Mhm.
people being forced to look within during quarantine and lockdown was actually a blessing for a lot of people. I'm hearing more, all we've heard all the traumatic things, and I'm not discounting what people went through, but I'm hearing so many stories of transformation and
Mhm.
change and growth and new businesses being birthed. And we all know, we hear the stories about some of the most successful businesses were started in the middle of a recession.
Right.
So, things,
Mhm.
beauty and greatness has come out of 2020. And I hope that we
Mhm.
can continue to ride that wave of energy and excitement and really not worrying about what people think anymore. And I know with the women I coach, that's a big thing that holds them back, is fear of judgment. So
Mhm.
2020 is like, who cares anymore? Do what you want to do, you know?
And that's the approach we should all really take. If it makes you happy and brings you joy and fills your cup, then that's what we should focus on.
Mhm.
And I think you're right. I think that's a key thing you said, is a lot of women don't know what they want. And then we are very emotional and all over the place, and we think we know what we want, and the next day it's something else. And, so you aren't really digging in deep to find those true, what is my purpose and my light and my calling. And so I
Mhm.
think that was a good point you hit. I think you are absolutely right, is we don't know. So
Yeah.
if somebody's trying to figure that out, what is my purpose or my calling, or what is my light, what would you have them do? What would be your recommendation on trying to really hone in and find that so that you can live in your truth? What would be your recommendation for
That
that?
is such a great question. One of my favorite questions, because it's a journey that I partner when I call my clients coaching partners, because we truly partner up together to create a strategy to find purpose, or if they've already found their purpose. And I work with a lot of mission driven women,
Mhm.
then, and how to facilitate that and get a strategy going, because when you're creative and you have ideas, you're all over the place.
Right.
But one of the first things, it sounds really bold, but one of the first things, I had to do this to myself in August, and then my new show came about with the perfect producers, with all the list of aspects that I'd always had in a dream show. I literally am like, if I put a gun to your head right now, what would you want to do if you didn't care what anybody thought, and you had to give me an answer, that deep thing that maybe you've never even told your spouse or your parents, you've never even, what is that thing? First of all, is to get it out and acknowledge it, right?
Mhm.
A lot of women started blogs last year that have been talking about it and talking about it. They started a YouTube channel, or I want to be a speaker like you, Tiff. Well, take the first steps.
Mhm.
So first of all, ask yourself, what do you really want? I am all about aligning with God, because I believe God, I believe in, is it Psalm 37:4, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. There's a reason why
Mhm.
you want to do the thing. There's a reason
Right.
why, when we think of the word calling, it calls you every day. You get up and you're thinking about it, and every day that you're not doing it, you're a little more miserable,
Mhm.
right? So so what is that thing that's calling you that you can't stop thinking about? I spoke to a young woman a few weeks ago, and she had always wanted to be a model. She had the height, she had all the stats, right, that a modeling agent would look for, but she was bullied or teased about. And I know this, I just saw a picture of my mom this weekend. I went down to Houston for Easter. My mom always said she was 6 foot by the time she was 12 years old. My mom's really tall, and I actually found a picture, and all of her siblings are like way way shorter than her. I'm like, oh my goodness, mom, you were right. You really were that tall. And so you're gawky. So this young woman finally admitted to herself during 2020, she got on a call with me to start talking out these things. And I said, what do you need to do? Do you need to uh, get in front of a camera? Do you need to take
Mhm.
selfies and practice? Do you need to go see a modeling agency and see what a professional says? You have to make the step. You have to
Right.
take that first step. So
Mhm.
it is a journey. It is a
Mhm.
process. I'm finally almost at 50. I feel like I'm truly doing, I worked in television for so long. I was
Mhm.
a model. I love working on camera. But when I hit rock bottom and got up off that bathroom floor and had to relearn everything, there was no way. I thought I wanted a TV show a few years after that. Thank goodness. I did a lot of pilots in LA, but thank goodness it didn't really open up for me, because I needed this healing. I needed the experience, all the hours of one-on-one coaching women, to be able to get on a bigger TV show, bigger than Real Housewives, that has so much purpose. So here I am, really feeling like I'm just getting started. So that's also something I want women to understand, is don't judge your journey, your purpose journey, to someone else's. There might be a
Mhm.
25-year-old that is fully stepping into her purpose. She knows what she wants. All of the year, it just happens to be that way. And
Mhm.
my journey happened to be, I didn't hit rock bottom until I was 31 years old. I restarted life at 31. So, don't judge where you are. Don't judge yourself. Don't compare yourself. But sit with yourself. That's really important. Get quiet. Women don't allow themselves to get quiet. They stay really, really busy with kids, with job, with spouse, entertainment. Dallas is very entertainment driven. People think they've got to be out doing a charity event. Well, I know 2020 we didn't, but they keep themselves too busy. So when
Mhm.
they sit with themselves, it's like purpose. I don't know. When's the last time I sat with myself to even ask myself or get quiet enough to let God speak to me? And so I could hear the calling. We stay so distracted that that calling
Mhm.
is there every day, but I could go on and on. You have to stop me.
This is your lane. You've got all the things. This is your lane. So yeah, I think that's a good point too. Sitting with yourself, getting to know yourself, journaling, meditating, all those things, just to kind of, I guess, get to know yourself. Like you said, we probably stay busy and don't really focus on that too much.
Let me give you a perfect example. Let me give you, and I've been asked, people have been like, Tiffany, all of a sudden you have this show and you're shooting in Belize and it's so high quality. And in August, my birthday's in August, so I celebrate all month. Leo's, I've got a line on Leo's celebrate all month long. And I got to that point where I had that flat feeling, that flat energy. And I actually did a workshop called the Get Lit Workshop. After 2020, everyone was exhausted. Everyone's head was spinning. We had 2020 whiplash. And it was like, I don't know, I don't even know what I want to do anymore. Women were exhausted, homeschooling and doing everything. So I remember I had to coach myself. And in August, I felt this empty feeling. I had been pouring out, doing all the free calls, all the coaching, launching headscarves. And I said, what, I still want to do my TV show. My dream TV show is still there. God, if you want me to simply focus on my coaching business and coach women and do speaking, then that's fine. But I really still want to be in front of the camera and serve many people on this platform. And I had to do that same thing. I got quiet. I visualized, and this is something I actually posted in my private Facebook group today. I said, you know, visualizing to bring yourself joy. Every morning I visualize palm trees. We are landlocked in Dallas. I lived in LA for almost 20 years. I really miss the aesthetics of palm trees. On every street you drive in LA, you see palm trees, and I really miss them. So every morning I sit, I get quiet, no matter how the morning started, and I do this little video in my head, and use my imagination. I can see the palm trees. And so I did that in August. I said, you know what? Can I see myself still on a TV show? It was Real Housewives. It was at the pinnacle of my TV career. And I felt that still small voice say, no, I've got more for you to do. So I started journaling, and I'm like, God, what is that? Where am I right now? It's not sanctuary of style. There's enough style bloggers talking about the outfit of the day. That's great. We need them, but that's not my season anymore. You know, all of the things that I've gone through, how can I share that? And I made a mock TV show, put with my face, and it was called Thrive with Tiffany Hendra. And I put it up on my vision board, and I prayed about it every day. And I said, what steps can I take? And I'm not even kidding. 2 weeks later, my producer reached out to me. He had met me a few years prior. And I'm like, okay, God's fast when he's just waiting on us. You know what I mean? I know I'm not over spiritualizing. I'm trying not to over spiritualize everything, but I can't talk about these things without mentioning being aligned with God. I just can't.
No, I get it. Amen. I think the same way. So you're absolutely right. And I appreciate you sharing that testimony, because that's how you know it was meant to be. That was part of your purpose and your calling. And I can't wait to see it. I am super excited to see the TV show.
Yes.
When does that like launch, or how? Tell me a little bit.
They're editing right now, and it's all in the works. I can't give out like all the details of specific things, but we've started airing it. It's on a platform called My Wellness by Nature. And they birthed that during 2020, and they had been watching. And that's a rock the camera tip as well that I teach my branding clients, because when you're consistent in your messaging and you are sharing your life, like you mentioned, I shared about my skin cancer. When you are consistent in doing that, and you're being visible and using your voice and using your story, and in the years I've been doing that, it will, when the time is right, that success, what does Oprah say? Success and preparation, when it meets, or opportunity and preparation meet, is success. So all of that preparation, when you're getting online and you're sharing your story and you become that go-to person, and it really makes you legit when there's so many wannabes, really, for lack of a better term, wannabes on social media that have never, like I said to my girlfriend, they've like been doing it for 2 days, and they can put it on an Instagram bio that they're an expert in their field. So these producers had been seeing me share all of this stuff. So that's a little hint, ladies. Keep sharing your message. Keep sharing your brilliance.
Mhm. I think you're absolutely right. So you do, for anyone watching that might want to get into one of your Rock the Camera classes or your coach, or how would they need to go about that to get a hold of you and, reach out to you? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, the easiest way is I created a digital course, because every time I would have a workshop, women from different parts of the world would ask me, when are you coming to Dubai? When are you coming to Australia? And I had that up level that's really scary, but I created a digital course. It's 7 videos that's all the quick digestible nuggets that I teach for getting clear on your why you want to do video, using your voice, your messaging, and the look of it, lighting, the look of it. You look great today. You know what I mean? Like you have to be well lit. You have to, the makeup. So my makeup artist, Daniela Bell, also did tutorials. So it comes with 4 videos, all the way from foundation to doing your eyebrows, making your eyes pop on camera. And I have an extra bonus that I just added during 2020 with all the ring lights that I use. And it's $97. So for $97, you get all of the tips and tricks that I share working on privately with me one-on-one. You would just go to tiffanyhendra.com and message me and set up a consultation. And my VIP roster one-on-one is very limited right now. But if it's a fit, then I have a 6-week, I've narrowed it down. It takes a woman that's ready to rock and roll. Maybe she's just done a few Facebook lives. She's still really nervous. She's still, people get shaky voice, their makeup, they just, they need to get polished. Then I can do it usually takes about 6 weeks, and we do privates. And in Dallas, I'll come to your home. If you don't, I have a travel requirement, but I can come to your home or your office, and it's a lot of fun.
I think that's awesome. Sometimes we just need kind of that cheerleader, that you can do it, and I think you have all of that mastered. You make me feel like I can take over the world.
Yay!
So I think that's awesome. Well, I thank you so much for sharing everything today, and just kind of a little bit about you and your journey, and those tips on finding your purpose and getting in tune with you. So I so appreciate you sharing all of that. Is there anything that you want to close with or leave everybody with as we kind of sign off?
Sure. Thank you so much again for having me. This is my jam. I believe that when we talk about purpose, I think you can get really discouraged. The women that I work with, they get discouraged because they're like, I don't really know what I want to do. The first thing that you can start off with, aside from getting quiet, aligning spiritually, women are disconnected from themselves spiritually. All of the spiritual fitness that I mentioned, but get lit up, do what you love. And I think you mentioned that. It's like if we had more women loving their lives and having fun, nurturing their inner little girl. I have my clients take themselves on solo artist dates. Like, when's the last time you took yourself to do something completely by yourself? Even power walking. People always want to power walk with me. And I'm like, no, that is my time. That is my time with God, the trees, or I listen to a podcast, and, that's my time. It's a non-negotiable, right? So start off with doing what you love and getting yourself lit up. Don't wait for other people to do it. Don't let it be circumstantial where, I lost 5 pounds and I'm happy for a second. Or I got Botox and that's an instant little, those external confidence builders are great. But, sitting with yourself, it does start with self-love. That is the most beautiful way a woman can show up in the world and help heal the world with purpose, is to stay lit up. Do
Absolutely.
the things you love.
I love it. You are so right.
Yeah.
You are so right. That is a perfect way to leave everybody with that tidbit. because you are right. We are all awesome and beautiful and are called to shine bright, and we all need to.
Yeah.
So if y'all have any more questions or anything for Tiffany, go to tiffanyhendra.com, right? And I just thank you so, so much for your time and sharing with us and being the light that you are. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Likewise, Katie. I love what you do for women. Keep it up.
Well, thank you. We will talk again soon because I want to talk about this TV show and share that, and I cannot wait to see it. So we will come back around and talk to you again.
Okay.
So thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.